Hey everyone. So I wanted to take you through the stick control sheet that I sent to you and just demonstrate a few of these, kind of show you how I do them, sort of my approach, and just, you know, give you some stuff to work on that you're going to work on every week. And this is something that you're going to do. I would like to see you do it every single day for 7 weeks, and I think you're going to see a huge improvement in how comfortable you are with singles and doubles, stick control in general, and it's just going to really help you loosen up and give you a lot more control. So the first one in here is just number 1. This is page 5 from Stone's stick control, and the first one is just right hand lead. As you're doing it, just stay relaxed. Don't feel you need to dig in or anything. Use the rebound. Relax your shoulders. Keep your hands relaxed. Sometimes I do them individually, stop in between. Number 2. Sometimes I do them all straight through. Depends how I'm feeling, depends how fast I'm taking them. 3. If I'm warming up, especially if it's early in the morning and I grab my cup of coffee and I turn the TV on in my office and I just sort of play through these. I don't do them any set number of times, just when it feels good, I kind of switch. If I have a right hand lead pattern and I want to switch to a left hand lead pattern, I just throw in a paradiddle. That got me from number 3 to number 4 without having to stop. I can do the same thing between number 4 and 5. Paradiddle, then I go into paradiddles. I practice these without accents, trying to keep everything nice and smooth. There's times where you can practice them with accents, but don't just practice them in a traditional rudimental way. For instance, for your paradiddle, always doing this. There's time for that, and that's fine to practice it that way, but you also want to work on making sure that you can keep everything smooth in the same dynamic. Switch into number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and those are your basic 13. Everything else, starting with number 14, really on through the next several pages, is nothing but different combinations of those first 13. You have singles, you have doubles, playing groups of 3, and then you're playing groups of 4 in number 13. That's what you're doing. And then different combinations of those. So 14 through 23, which is kind of what I like to think of as page 5. I sort of see number 24 as the first one to the next page when you start putting doubles in between everything. It's just a combination of number 14 is nothing but a combination of number 1 and number 3. Singles, double, single, double, single, double, single, double. Number 15 is just number 2 and number 4, the exact same thing, but left hand lead. Number 16, 17, and 18 is just taking, number 1 with a paradiddle, number 2 with a paradiddle is the second measure, and then number 1 with example 6 is number 17, and then number 1 and 2 with example 7 is number 18. Paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. 18, whoops, sorry, ready again. All right, then 19 is nothing but number 1 and number 9. 20, number 2 and number 10. 21 is number 1 and number 11. Number 22 is number 2 and 12. And then number 23 is number 1 and number 13. Actually, it's sort of number 1 and number 2 with 13. So you can kind of see that you're just starting to combine all of these 13 basic patterns into different types. So playing 1 through 23 is the first way that I want you to go through them. Then on the sheet, you'll notice in group B, I've combined some that I like. I combined number 1 and number 3. But playing, I'm sorry, 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going back and forth between those. The next one would be number 2 and 4, which is exactly the same thing, but just with left-hand lead. The next one is 5 through 8. So these are your 4 paradiddle patterns, right? It's a paradiddle starting on the downbeat. And then in number 6, it's a paradiddle starting on the last 8th note of the beat. In number 7, it's a paradiddle starting on the 3rd 8th note of the beat. And then number 8, it's a paradiddle starting on the 2nd 8th note of the beat. So the double goes from the 3rd and 4th in number 5, and then the double happens in the middle of the 4-note grouping in number 6. The double happens at the beginning of the 4-note grouping in number 7, and then the double happens over the beat in number 8. And I like putting those together into one exercise.
1,
2, ready, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry. It's much easier when you're not talking. So I'll do that again. And that's one that's really fun. It's also just a great exercise for moving that double around. The next one is number 9 and number 11. So combining those 3 strokes with the right hand, also with the left. And then the next one I have on there is number 10 and 12, the exact same thing, just starting with the left. Okay. Number 14 and number 23 is kind of a fun one to do. So all you're doing is going from a single to a double, and then a single into 4 per hand. Number 15 and number 23 is going to be the exact same thing. You're just starting in that second bar of number 23. So it's essentially the same thing, but just a left-hand lead, if you will. Number 16 through 18 is very similar as when we did number 5 through 8, working on paradiddle patterns, but you're just putting them in between those singles. So 16 through 18. 1, 2, ready. That. 19 and 21 I put together, so doing groups of 4 and singles, and then groups of, number 19 and 21, 19 and 21. 3s on the right, and then 3s with the left. And then 20 and 22, it's the same thing, but you're starting with the left-hand lead. So those are the first, that's group A and that's group B. Group C and D and group E is nothing but numbers 1 through 7, and then putting either triplets, eighth note triplets in between each beat, or putting 16th notes in between each beat, both singled and doubled. So number 1 with the triplets, so this would be group C, where I have in there insert eighth note triplets. Number 1, all the triplets are all singled. Number 2 would just be the same thing but left-hand lead. Number 3 is doubles, but the triplet is still singled. Number 4, same as number 3, but just left-hand lead. Number 5, I'm going to slow it down for you guys a little bit, or for me too. Number 5 is a paradiddle with the triplet in between. Number 6, the double's in the middle. Oops. Number 7, the double's in the front end. And then we do the same thing, but I'm going to insert 16th notes into this. So we'll take number 1, and I'll do them first as singles. And then as doubles. Number 2, same thing, first with singles inserted in between 16th notes. And then with doubles. And then you do that with all of them. So we're just taking eighth note triplets, 16th notes, both as singles and as doubles, putting them in between every beat, and doing that for number 1 through 7. Obviously, you can keep going with this, and in the book he does, but I think this is really kind of a good basic way. Every day do this. Some days it might take you a half hour to get through because you really want to focus on some. You might want to just sort of do this as a nice 15-minute warm-up, however you want to use it. I do want you to think about relaxing, and I want you to think about playing these really slow and relaxed at times. It's not about forcing it. This is probably one of my favorite, just to kind of warm up when I'm waking up in the morning. Taking something like that and just really starting to move the tempo, keep it nice and low and very relaxed. See if I can do it here. Something like that, really soft. I've been working a lot on my traditional grip, so working with my index finger and working with my thumb and making sure they're both kind of controlling. This one I have trouble with, but these guys working together to really start to control that stick in the same way that those are controlling the stick. You can work on your timpani stuff. You know, do this and do it all for for those of you who've been working on timpani and we've been talking about getting you into French grip, I would obviously flatten the pad. Just working on this. Get yourself a mirror. Put it in front, put it over to the side so you can see it from here, put it over here so you can see your left hand, put it in front, put it over on the side, you know, whatever you want to do so you can kind of see what's going on. So even though you don't have a timpano at home or a set of timpani, you've got your practice pad and you've got your sticks, and you can just work on that nice French grip and work on that nice finger control. And all of that will transfer back to the drum when you get back in there. I think that's it for right now. Just explaining what I wanted you to do with the stick control. We'll be talking a lot more about this. Hopefully we'll do some virtual sessions of this together. And we'll sort of experiment with some of those types of things. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys are doing with this semester, and we'll talk soon.